Welcome to the Black Women Will Save Black Women podcast, where we support, amplify, validate, and elevate Black women. I'm your host, Kamika Dillard, and welcome to our sanctuary. This week is going to be a really, really great episode. We are blessed to have one of my sorority sisters in the house to kick off a great conversation. But before we get there, I want to focus on this week's Failures Files. So this week's Failure File is sponsored by me, of course, where I share a story of something I've done for the week to move myself forward from what might appear to be a setback as really a stepping stone to greatness. So this week, I was fortunate enough to be on a panel for Afrotech. For those of you who don't know, Afrotech is really, really big when it comes to Blacks being in the technological space. They provided me an opportunity to speak on human design and behavior and how just being authentic will help you get to the next level in your career. And all week, I have been super focused on getting ready for this panel. As many of you guys may or may not know, I am revamping and starting up my own coaching practice. So before I got on this panel, I really wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted my website done. I wanted to be able to send clients there. I wanted everything to just be the way I needed it to be. So of course, when I plan, God, laughs loudly because he does not give a crap about my plans. So I had hired a guy to do my website. I hired him at the beginning of this month. And he was supposed to deliver the product the day before the panel. And of course, it was not delivered. And I just was like breaking down crying. Well, not breaking down. I don't want to say I break down and cry. I just get really, really frustrated with the situation because it's not something I can immediately fix. And I know some of you guys might be thinking it's just a web page, go ahead and do something, go on Squarespace, whatever it is. Podcast is not sponsored by Squarespace yet, but I wanted to just make sure my stuff looks on point. Like most recovering perfectionists, I want my stuff to look a certain way. And it didn't. And I had to sit in it for a second. And of course, I reached out to my circle, my board of directors, who told me, you know what, Kamika, give yourself a little bit of grace. So I was able to get something up in time for the actual panel where you could reach out, contact me. If you go to my website right now, fail4coaching.com, it is not complete, but it will be complete very soon. But I took that as a lesson to really lean into giving yourself grace. It is not about perfection. It is about walking towards your goal slowly but surely. You might stumble a little bit. Things may not look as perfect as you would like for them to look, but you are still making progress. And it was a good reminder as I am telling my own clients, telling folks that I'm coaching, that you don't have to have everything perfect to get started. So take that from a lesson from my own failure this week, which was not really a failure. It was just a step forward that was a little bit cracked, a little bit broken, but we got something up. So if you go to fail4coaching.com right now, you'll see 2 pages. But that works for right now, and everything else will be blown out a little bit later. So that's this week's failure file. Thank you for listening. Now let's go to our first guest. All right, so let's get started with our first guest this week. Our first guest is Miss Jada Brooks. Jada Brooks is a dynamic leader and strategist with over 6 years of experience in management consulting, specializing in human capital, change management, and organizational strategy. Originally from PG County, Maryland, she relocated to LA in 2022, where her passion for people and purpose continues to guide her work. Throughout her consulting career, Jada has helped organizations, particularly government clients, navigate transformation by aligning people, processes, and purpose to create meaningful impact. Beyond consulting, Jada is a professional dancer and emerging moving director, collaborating with artists and creatives across the entertainment industry. Her ability to merge corporate strategy with artistic expression allows her to bring a rare balance of structure and creativity to everything she does. Grounded in empathy and driven by purpose, Jada is passionate about helping others realize their potential, championing equity, and inspiring individuals to show up, care deeply, and be better every day. She spends most of her days staying active through workouts, hot yoga, ooh, we'll talk about that, and dance classes, and every now and then a run club while catching up with family and friends back home in Maryland. Let's welcome to the sanctuary, Jada Brooks.
Hey.
Nice to have you, Jada.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that you are here. So, we are going to talk about what happened, what brings you here to this podcast. So, we know that you, like many other Black women, has been affected by I think we're now up to 400,000 plus Black women who've been laid off this year. So, tell us your story.
Yeah, so working for a company, and I think with the current administration, when he first came into office, and I don't want to get political or anything, but when he first came into office and he was making all those Doge cuts and cuts to everything, basically, being a contractor, it affected us too. So once my contract was coming to an end, normally you're able to sit on what they call the bench until you find another project, knowing that your current project is about to end. But because of the state of budget cuts and how the company that I was working for operates, they terminated the bench. So you only had an option to either one, when your project end date ended, that would be your last day at the company, or you can utilize the PTO that you do have to look for a project. But that's like 50-50 chance, especially with the experience that I have being more what they call soft skills and communications and marketing, whereas a lot of the projects that they were creating were now technology heavy. So I felt in my soul like I earned all this PTO. Like, why should I have to use this PTO to, look for a job? Because this is PTO that I should be using to take off that I earned. So I just thought that didn't sit well in my spirit. So I just took the route of, okay, well, if I don't find a project by the time that my current project ends, then that will have to be my last day at the company, because I just didn't think that it could have been a 50-50 chance of me finding a project.
So what date was your last date?
June 13th, Friday the 13th.
Ooh,
I know.
That's spooky.
Very spooky.
Okay. So last day, June 13th,
Yes.
which was a Friday. And so we weren't able to find a project. So tell me what you did immediately after knowing this was going to be your last night. What was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was, I know it's all going to work out for me, because I was actually at home in Maryland when it was my last day. I wasn't too worried at the time because I dance as well. So I had a job coming up for dance. So I really wasn't, I think presently I wasn't there. I didn't take it serious as I thought I should at that time, because I had a job for dance lined up. I'm like, okay, well, I know I have this check coming in for that, and I know I have the severance pay that's going to come with my job. So I wasn't really worried as I guess the average person would have been. So yeah, I think my initial reaction was just like, okay, I have something lined up, so I'm not really thinking about it right now. So I think that led me to not be as anxious because of me having that job coming up.
What changes did you do in the first 30 days after, you kind of like, all right, you were in PG County with your parents. Then what? What was the next move?
I traveled. Because I think that was being in my corporate job. I think I was kind of hindering myself from a lot of things. Not really going for my dance dream as, I guess, direct in a sense because I had a full-time job, like, and that's already, I was working East Coast hours. So I was getting up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to log into work, be off by 2, then go take dance classes or go to rehearsal or finesse a rehearsal while I'm logged in. Like, so I think having my corporate job was not, I want to say a hindrance because it definitely put things in perspective as far as like stability and everything. But I think as far as my dance career goes, I kind of not put it on the back burner, but kind of like, okay, well, if this audition doesn't work out, at least I have my job to keep me stable. Um, and I say all that to say, I'm trying to get back to the point that you were just making.
First 30 days.
Oh, yeah, first 30 days. So I went to go travel after I got laid off. And just to be still and just hear God and just see what it is that Jada wants, because I had this job to keep me afloat. But was it really what I wanted to do? No. So I just used that time to travel, be still, enjoy life a little bit more and not take life so serious. So yeah, I traveled for like a month and
Where'd you
it was
go?
the best month I've ever had. I went to Europe actually.
Okay, tell us
Yeah,
where.
it was so much fun. Went to Europe. I met up with a line sister as well. We went to Barcelona.
Barcelona.
I loved it. It was so much fun. And just also to just not rekindle, but catch up with her because we hadn't seen each other in so long. So that was good too. Spent time with my family. My niece had a christening. Um, and so just being in the West Coast and everybody being in the East Coast, it was just an opportunity for me to just be and just not worry about, you know, the worries of life, the challenges of life. So I just try to use that first 30 days to just rest and reset and just be.
Okay. So then what was our next 60 days like?
Next 60 days, what was it? A little bit more traveling. I was traveling a lot just because I think I'm more, not an avoidant, but if I have things planned, it works for me. So that I'm not too anxious about real life and adulting. But I would say I got laid off in June. I didn't really start applying to jobs until August. I gave myself a real long buffer because I just knew how brutal it was going to be, especially with the state of the economy and the current administration and them making cuts. And they say government work is always stable. So for this to happen, everyone and myself was just shook. So I started applying in August. It was so funny because I was traveling and I thought I had an interview with a company, but comes to find out it was a scam. I got on LinkedIn and the company put out a whole statement saying that if you got an email from this email, please be aware that people are, falsifying interviews. So I was like, okay, this is crazy. I thought I had an interview coming up and comes to find out it was a fraud. So that was kind of discouraging in a sense too. But yeah, come August, I started applying to different companies and different jobs. And that's just where I've been.
So are you actively only applying or how are we pursuing our dance dream?
Dance is a whole different topic conversation because that's ups and down roller coaster. One day I can have an audition and that audition can last 5 hours and you get to the end and you're like, oh, they didn't pick you. And it's not because you're not capable of doing the job, but it could be a look thing or, or I'm not thick enough or I'm not skinny enough or maybe the girl that they want, we both have the same look, so they can't take us both. So dance is just always up and down, up and down. And that's just the state of the industry too. Like with what jobs are out there with the artists that are what they're doing, movies that are coming out, commercials. So it's just always up and down.
So what type of dance do you specialize in?
I specialize in I'm versatile. So I grew up as a technical dancer. So I have, I guess, skills in ballet, tap, jazz. But being in LA, they will just categorize it as commercial dance. So a lot of commercial dance. So like, I guess hip hop is a good word to just keep it simple.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Have we gotten any jobs we know you mentioned that you had a job
Mm-hmm.
once you were being laid off. Have we had any more of those types of jobs?
Mm-mm. No. So it's really been super steady, like super still,
Okay.
very still.
Okay, so we're applying now.
Mm-hmm.
Have we heard back from anyone that's real?
No.
So knowing that it's really kind of like it's sparse out there. We know the economy is still in flux. We don't know what's going to happen next. What are
Mm-hmm.
you planning?
So I do enjoy the youth. So I'm trying to get into substitute teaching, which is pretty cool because I don't want to be like a set in stone teacher, but if I can go and give back to the kids, then I'll do that. So I'm working on that as well. In addition to that, I'm working on like personal things that I want to work on with my brand and future businesses as well. And hopefully they grow to be something greater. So just focusing on substitute teaching as well as building my brand and my business for the future.
All right, let's talk about your brand and your business. Tell us more.
So eventually I want to open up my own dance studio. So that's always been my end goal. So just working on that, what that may look like, the steps that I have to take for it to come into fruition, of course. Um, like the branding, the name, where I want it to be located, because I am in LA, but I also want to have one in Maryland as well. So just focusing on that kind of stuff and just dreaming a little bit more and just trying to dream but execute it at the same time. So taking those baby steps to get to the big dream.
So, do you want to stay in LA?
I always get asked that, and I've always told myself 5 years. I'm in year 3 now, and I feel like I haven't scratched the surface. Um, or like I'll get really, really busy with dance, and I'm not here. I'm traveling a lot with dance, so I feel like I haven't really been here in LA to really sit to see like, can I build a life here, or is that life in Maryland? So I'm still figuring it out.
Okay. What else is driving you these days? What's keeping your mind busy? What's keeping you from, I guess, the pessimism of a market that is truly not friendly to Black women from a job perspective?
Mhm.
You don't have your business fully fleshed out. What's keeping you happy?
So cliche, but God, of course, he's my main source of peace, and joy. Um, but I really have been resonating with like just being still because I feel like I'm a person that needs to have everything planned out from start to finish. And I think taking advantage of this time of just being still, of not hearing back from a job or a company or whatever, or dance job as well, choreographer, I think being still in this moment and allowing me to really figure out what it is that Jada wants so that when God presents the opportunity, I'm already well prepared to go for it. So I'm just trying to use this time to listen to him and listen to myself as well and trust what he's saying and trust what he's giving me. Like even this is just a lot for me, but I appreciate being here. But yeah, I think God has been right now my source of happiness and peace.
Why is this a lot for you?
It's a lot sharing your story. It's a lot sharing this vulnerability. Like even with finances, I'm like, oh shoot, she really going for it. Like finances is scary, and I think being in a vulnerable state where you don't have it figured out is scary as a Black woman because we're deemed as beings of having it all together and showing that we have it all together, even when we don't have it all together and we're dying inside. So I think me sharing this vulnerable moment of where I am in my life is a lot. It's hard because I'm just so used to just being, I got this. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out.
So then what's your ask from the community? If we know that Black women will save Black women, what would you want the community to save you like from or help you with? And be
Um,
transparent, like we already talked about. What's your ask?
mm, I would say genuine community that wants to support you. Like, I think people can say, "Oh, I got you, I got you, I got you," but nothing, nothing happens in the back end. Does that make sense?
Let's expound on it. What does that look like?
I guess in the sense of like not being afraid to really lend a helping hand. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So if I was to try to offer help to Jada tomorrow, how would you want me to help you tomorrow? How would you want me to lend a hand?
Um,
So for myself, when I say, hey, I need my community around me, I'm really honest in saying, like, sometimes I have actually one of my line sisters, she calls me once a week on the way to work just to say, girl, are you up? And it's like 7 o'clock in the morning because back when I was working, I would be up at 5:30 every morning. That was part of my routine. And she would call me just once a week just to make sure, hey, are you up? Like, because when I was really going through it at the beginning of my layoff, I mean, I was in bed till like 9 a.m., which is just not even like me. So her way of supporting and helping me was just calling once a week. I had another friend who would just say, girl, let me just see your resume. I just want you to take a look at, just let me look at it. Let me see what you're working with. So what tangible action, because I think as Black women have a really hard time articulating what does help look like right now in this state of affairs. Is it a friend taking you out for coffee? Is it a friend like, just coming and working with you one day? Like really, like what do you really want that help to look like?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think because I'm very like um I think for me it would be more so like a brainstorming session. Like how can we work together to get your dreams to maybe like a brainstorming session, like you said, like it's a session like let's go work, let's go to a coffee shop, let's sit down, let's brainstorm together how we can get your brand off the ground and get it working. What steps that we can do together, and how can I help you get there to get you to where you want to be with your dance studio. So maybe it's like a coffee chats every once a week or every 2 weeks.
All right. So you hear it. What Jada is looking for is the community to help her figure out what this business looks like. So Jada is wanting to build out a dance studio. She wants it to be bi-coastal, West Coast, East Coast. But what's the first step she should do? So I am reaching out to the BWWSBW community to ask them to like, let's check on our girl Jada to try to help her get there and offer resources that will help her reach her dreams. So Jada, let's promote you. What do you want to share? What's your final word? What do you want to share with the audience right now?
Don't be discouraged, of course. Things are happening for you, not to you. And that everything is all about timing. So if you just trust the timing, trust God's timing, everything will work out the way it's supposed to.
Awesome. Thanks, Jada, for
Thank
coming on
you.
today. I appreciate you.
Thank you
Thanks for
having
sharing, sister. All right. So we heard from Jada. She dropped a few nuggets that I really want us to take away from this week. So one thing she did focus on is just being still and listening to what the word is trying to tell her, whether it's from God, whether it's from herself. So a little bit of quiet time, not always moving. Black women, rest. Be still for a second, okay? We don't have to be on this continuous wheel just because we may not be working our 9 to 5. And finally, it's time for this week's S.A.V.E strategy. So a moment to support, amplify, validate, elevate ourselves and each other. Whether you're rebuilding, launching, or just holding it together, this tip is for you. So this week's S.A.V.E strategy is for entrepreneurs. As you may know, I'm a recovering perfectionist. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm in the process of building my coaching brand. And like Jada, I don't have it all figured out, but I want us to focus on the E, which is elevate this week. really invest in yourself and don't be cheap. Okay. You are the brand. You're worth every dollar that you invest in yourself. Whether or not you're an entrepreneur, I'm sure you can relate to that. I was actually cheap with like my website person, and I got what I paid for. Spend a little bit more money investing in what you are trying to achieve, and I promise it will not be a waste. So that is your save strategy for a week. Take what you need, share what you can, and remember, Black women saving Black women starts here. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming today.